Good evening. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. Let me introduce our boomer, Mr. Rex. He's just tapping on the table and he's about to get smacked. Asshole Millennial.
Hi.
And I am RisenLadyHeathen, female millennial. They both eat, sleep, and breathe politics, and I'm learning. We give you the facts and each of our three perspectives from our literal round table. We have another fun set of tax laws later, but first, let's dig right into our headlines. Tell me about Texas grand jury indicts 19 cops for excessive use of force against BLM protesters. That is a fucking mouthful, and I could not shorten that headline anymore without getting, without missing important information.
So anyway, Texas grand juries indicted 19 Austin officers on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Whoa. For their actions during the 2020 protests over racial injustice.
Okay, good. Not good. Yes, good, but...
Yeah. Well, again, we've talked about police riots. Austin had one,
Exactly.
and now they're going to punish some police for rioting.
I hadn't even gotten to riot yet as the possible sized interaction where we had this, like, all of my potential. What the hell did 19 cops get together and do?
Yeah.
Right?
That was bad. Oh, and there's a tool involved. Fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it ranks among the most indictments of a single police department in the U.S. over tactics used by officers.
Good.
It has led to the resignation of a number of police chiefs around the country. Yeah, we had several police riots.
Just
Right.
send enough FBI so that, like, when they go to make copies, they bump into a guy with a suit, I don't know, just touching their copying stuff.
Right?
So anyway, most of these were in relation to using the non-lethal rounds and shooting people in the face. Don't shoot people in the face
It was
with a
literally part of your
non-lethal
training.
round.
If
You
it
were
wasn't
told
part
not
of your
to.
training, do not accept the issue of that weapon. Tell the person at the armory, at least, preferably your nearest adult.
And I
have been improperly trained. I don't
know.
know how to use this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway,
Otherwise, center mass, all things.
turns out just by coincidence today, the Austin City Council settled with two protesters for $10 million.
Damn.
Nice. Well played.
So anyway, we'll see how many more there are.
Fair.
NYPD settlements cost hundreds of millions of dollars. It's insane.
You
No,
think
this
at
is
some
more-
point somebody
Where's-
would say training cops would be
Wage,
better
fraud,
than...
and abuse. This is the literal
Yeah.
abuse part. We don't often get that. Let's go get that.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Lawyer claims Trump is a protected
God.
class. Judge laughs.
This is the kind of thing.
Tell me about this.
Oh my Lord, I just love this. Anyway, the judge scolded his lawyer, Alina Habba, when she claimed that her client was part of a protected class
For fuck's sake.
because of his Republican ideology.
Wait, what?
Now, I
So-
agree he might be part of a protected class because of his limited intellect, but that's not what she was claiming.
And has not been put forward as an argument.
Hold on. So,
That's what I'd say.
with her argument, I could go into court and say, I'm a Democrat, so you can't whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably not in her ideology, because Democrats control Hollywood and so much of the societal.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, hey, look, I'm not helping her make her argument. I'm just saying.
No, but you cannot call Republicans a protected class without calling Democrats a Republican, which means everybody's technically a protected class, which is
Yeah. So
fucking
anyway, she
ridiculous.
argued that he
Send
was
me a
part
check.
of a protected class.
I'll do it.
Go ahead. He has First Amendment rights. He's allowed to be a Republican. He's allowed to be a shithead.
Yeah.
He can be whatever the fuck he wants.
I love
No
what the
one's
judge said.
No one's saying he can't be whatever he wants. That's fucking perfectly fine. Anyway.
So anyway, at some point, the clerk pointed out that traditional protected classes are race, religion, etc. He's not one of those.
Anyway.
Anyway, so the judge finally winds up
Yes.
saying, yeah, he's just a bad guy she should go after as the chief law enforcement officer of the state. So, and
That
that's
is
what
fabulous.
the judge said.
Oh, good.
So, anyway, just perfect. Love it.
Wonderful. All right. Eric Trump wants dinner with Jesus to whine about Biden. Oh my God, I need to hear
I
about
saw this, and you have this whole mixture of, it starts with who the fuck does he think he is? That first of all, Jesus would bother to have dinner with
But
him.
first of all, we don't even know Jesus was a real person. So some random dude named Jesus is going to be like, why the fuck am I here again, buddy?
Oh God, that would be funny.
Jesus.
That would-
he's
that's
going to want to
almost-
talk to literal Jesus, and he's going to get some random dude named Jesus who's born around the same time.
Which
like,
is not an uncommon name in some communities.
oh, God.
Oh God, I hope he gets thousands of invitations. It would be perfect.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, no, it was just the level of his hubris that he would be worthy of having dinner with Jesus, or that Jesus would give a fuck what Eric Trump thought.
Or that Jesus is
I
an
mean,
actual
he's the
person.
well.
I mean,
Again, when you talk about protected classes, this is the runt of the Trump litter. This is the dumb one. So where would anybody get the idea that Jesus would want to have? I just
no,
don't know.
and I'm all like,
And he wants to
for-
complain about Biden. That's his big thing.
I am all for people believing in Jesus. Like, I think that's a wonderful thing in a lot of instances. For some people, it's really helped them out. But I will say that Eric Trump thinking he has any sort of right to speak to what some people consider a form of a deity, right, is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
This kind of reminds you of that,
Portrait Ben Carson had with him and Jesus.
with Jesus with his hand on Ben
It's
Carson's
the only
shoulder.
Ben Carson.
Where do
gonna
they
be
get these
seen in
people?
the same-
Oh my God.
So-
If there's any artists out there, I would love a picture of me with like a black Jesus. That would make me so happy. So happy.
Yep.
I'm down.
But no,
Which is
Give it up.
likely.
he's
I'll hang
just
it on my
trying
wall
to keep
forever.
the
It'll
hustle
be
up the most
amazing.
he can. At some level,
At
I
least it'd
could.
be more realistic, right?
If I was bored and feeling generous today, I could spend a minute thinking of a way to say this is him trying to lift up his part of the boat and carry his part of the whatever for the people he's got to carry things for.
Yeah.
Again, I already discussed earlier how I think any one of them should rip cord out of this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Get your duffel bag full of cash and hit the street.
Yep.
yeah, they're not gonna though, because
I don't know.
Payday
we'll
and
see.
Heat have taught me anything. You can literally carry enough money to vanish. I would donate all the rest and do that
Yeah.
and go be Steve in, I don't know, Oregon.
Yeah. Live
Or
in
somewhere with
somebody's
a nice
pool
river.
house.
oh, I love rivers.
Right, that's
Could
what I'm
we
saying.
go fishing on the river?
That's maybe I wouldn't eat what you catch unless we
Could
check
we
the water.
do like a river near a lake so we could get a boat?
See,
Right.
Pennsylvania
That's what I'm
has
saying.
snow. I think it's got to be California
Still,
or southern Colorado, but even southern Colorado gets snow.
I'm pretty sure that all of the Trump children can get their hands on $4 million worth of liquidity and go.
Yeah. Bye.
Do it.
Right, announce your conversion to a monk who's taken a 3-year vow of silence, and I live that
Disappear.
as long as you can. Don't get caught being dumb.
Yeah.
All right, Boomer Rex is about damn time. I need good news, sir. Give it to me.
So, a New York judge on Thursday ordered the former president and his two children and two of his children to answer questions under oath about the Trump organization's business practices and the state attorney general's civil probe of the company. This is great. Their lawyers had sought to quash the subpoenas, and the judge said, "No, thank you." Right? Go testify. And the best part of this is, so they get put under oath. Now, Eric Trump's already said, I plead the fifth for 5 hours or whatever it was. The problem is it's a civil proceeding,
Oh,
and a civil jury can draw a conclusion from the fact that
Yep.
you took the Fifth Amendment.
because your right to avoid self-incrimination only has to
Applies
do
in criminal courts.
when there's threat of jail on the line.
Right.
It's only to keep you out of a cage. We literally wrote the rules, so we're pretty much making it most people won't die in a cage.
So a civil jury can consider
We're
that
good.
that answer might indicate that they were hiding a criminal act.
Okay, just for some people, because a lot of people like to do like the I plead the fifth bullshit. Let's explain to people what the actual Fifth Amendment is.
It isn't going to help to get it out of the Constitution. So don't bother.
But unlike criminal things, because it really is about the putting you in a cage. That's all the protection
Right,
is. Because
correct.
again, that's what we thought mostly the state had the
The
power
protection against having the jury consider the answer as an indication of guilt applies only in criminal cases. So, which is appropriate. That's the only
Oh,
one where your
absolutely.
life, liberty, and so
Okay.
forth are.
So the actual, like, broken down Barney style, what the Fifth Amendment
out.
is. The Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution guarantees an individual cannot be compelled by the government to provide incriminating information about herself, the so-called right to remain silent. When an individual takes the Fifth, she invokes that right and refuses to answer questions or provide information that might incriminate her.
Right.
Criminal court.
Unless you give up that. That's why they can give you immunity and then compel your testimony.
Right.
Right.
Against people you aren't married to, and there's some other boxes, but...
So anyway, he gave them 3 weeks to show up. So I'm sure they're going to try to appeal it again. The only place left is the Supreme Court of the United States, and I don't think they're going to touch this.
Or do.
Yeah.
And drop the pretense for all time.
Right. And
Then
we'll,
let us just know that that's a court that...
we'll count the kangaroos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, it literally only works if it's self-incriminating.
Right.
Yeah. To
So-
you, or again, spousal privilege is kind of tied in there, and I don't know what the current standing is, and federal court's a whole other game, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I...
So if you're taking the Fifth, you are implying that perhaps you did criminal acts.
If you
And
do
you're
it
not
in
talking
civil
about them.
court, the jury may interpret it that way.
I'll applaud them when they have to see their first sundown from the wrong side of a cage.
Should be
But
nice. Yes.
let this not be the end of it. Let this be the beginning of going after corporate officers who knowingly do shit like this.
Yeah.
Because that's what this really is, right? These are scummy corporate officers. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all one family. Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're going to say it's an
Well-
organized crime thing, then none of the... Yes, I absolutely roll those, but I don't see it. I will not fucking Charlie Brown that football for the Justice Department anymore.
Yeah. Go get them.
Plus, their average investigation time is more than 24 months, and it has to be because it's going to be, and federal prosecutors look at the cases entirely differently. Because any federal case is almost certainly also a state case. So they have the luxury of investigating everything before they even consider anyone a crime when they have any kind of rights.
Yeah.
So, no, feds don't roll for you unless they got you.
Okay,
We shall
so
see.
tell me about our dumbass of the day, Pastor Greg Locke cries witch.
Oh,
Oh my God.
I am that.
You got to remember who Pastor Greg Locke of the Global Vision Bible Church in Mount Juliet, Tennessee is. He's the clown who sponsored a book burning for the Harry Potter books and so on.
The usual
Yeah, so
suspects. He
people
doesn't
spent
even have any
money on
new
books
books.
and then burned them. Good
Yeah.
for them. I'm glad they threw
I'd
that
like
money
to know-
away, literally.
I'd
And
like
it's
to
more
know
money
how
than it
many
was
of
when they
those
originated.
idiots.
Right. Those are worth money now. Yeah, if you
I
got
mean, if
the
I were going to
original print.
participate in that, I'm going to go pick a book off the shelf that I've read and didn't like. But anyway, But anyway, he says that there were 6 witches that have infiltrated his court, and he threatened to expose them.
No,
We've
do
got
it, man.
first
do
and
it.
last names of 6 witches that have infiltrated the court.
First of all, what does he consider a witch? Do
Right,
we know?
oh,
Do we
I-
have his definition of a witch?
Somebody he doesn't
I
like.
think it's entirely possible we may end up finding out, but
Yeah.
No, I was
luck
gonna
to
say,
humans.
like,
no, on the other hand,
3 of you are in the room right now, he said.
could you
You
imagine?
better look in my eyeballs. We ain't afraid of you, you stinking witch, you devil worshiping Satanist witch. We cast you out in the name of Jeebus.
I wish I was there so I could have held up a crystal and be like, I send you back to hell where you belong, sir! And then run out the back.
That's my thing. Is could you imagine being singled out by that gentleman and the people who follow him?
Yeah, you want to be in the
That
back
would be
row.
terrible.
You want to yell really loudly, make yourself really big, and then fucking disappear. have somebody in the car waiting with the engine running.
And I'm curious if it's just a random cracking of the whip, and basically the next 3 people that move away for whatever reason, like, yeah, I guess they were witches.
And it was them.
But they're gone now, right? And let's be honest. Once you move, those people are dead, and you're dead to them.
Yeah.
It's nothing personal.
No, they'll join a new church and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Anyway, did you have more information on that?
Oh, no, just more threats from the moron.
All right,
Go-
I'm over
go
my
for it.
good feeling and being nice about it.
You're what?
I said earlier I was being understanding of Americans that are different than myself and saying I like the fact that I know tonight, right, they're closing up at a snake handling church in Alabama.
Yeah.
And like snake handling's not
And
my
with
thing.
luck, nobody got
Yeah,
bit
right.
tonight.
I hope that's how they go good, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not.
Oh no, they get bit.
Oh no,
regularly.
I know
Yeah,
that, and they
okay.
milk the smart ones milk them. But I'm not. I'm saying if everything in the business side goes to plan, no cops were called, no ambulance was needed, everyone's okay.
Yeah, then it's all right.
Everyone
yeah.
feels
no
good
blood,
about their
no foul.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that. Like it's again like the Florida Man stories and the every other
Yeah.
story about Americans pretty much.
It's part of the
isn't one
story
them
of
killing one the
American
others.
diversity.
Exactly. It
This
is the
ain't.
big quilt of fuck up and nowhere else to go
Yeah.
that we used to use to like tie together to beat up on like the Russians or the Chinese or
Yeah.
whoever.
Yeah.
So
But this clown is not okay.
no, a little bit not.
A little bit not.
No.
Whenever the book burners ever been the good guys.
Yeah.
And the like
Never in history.
that's just sad because I remember that from the 90s. Like, man, get some new material.
Yeah.
Just go out there to like there's still books or like go look on Amazon for magic and young adult and they'll tell you something.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, yeah. All right. Tesla phantom braking issues. This sounds not okay.
Is this related to the Mack truck thing?
No.
Okay.
Their habit of driving into the back of.
Yeah, fair.
Actually, it's ambulances.
Fuck, man.
Okay, so
That is
dear
my
American
libertarian
car
car.
makers, I will not buy a car that tries to drive itself.
Ooh.
That's the last thing on earth I want. I am in command of the vehicle, and the last thing I want is a vehicle that makes decisions on its own. Right?
For like 10 years.
When I want that kind of thing, I will go ride a horse. But until then, I'm in command of the goddamn vehicle.
Yeah, there needs,
So-
when I hit the hazards, I'm
Don't listen to him. If you want to send me a free Tesla, I'm all about it.
Yeah, we'll drive and tell you how it goes, and if it's
Yeah.
good, we'll tell you it's good. Absolutely. So,
I
hey,
think I'll
Elon,
be
send
hard
us a
out there.
Tesla.
I think I'll be hard pressed to use the auto drive
Yes, if
part
you're
of
bold
it,
enough to
but
find
you
the
know.
kid that's tracking your plane and try and bribe him, you're definitely found us. Bribe us. You can do it.
The other feature I want, I'm going to tell you one more time. I want a button in the car that says, I don't give a shit what the computer says. I need to move this vehicle now as far as it will go.
So the
And when
steal me
it catches
button?
fire, I will get out. Right?
So a
But
steal
I
me
want a
button.
button. What?
So a steal me button.
I don't mind if it looks at the ignition to see if I've got a key.
Okay, fine.
Right? But
Yeah, if
I
you're
don't
willing to have
want
some
your
level of-
engine
yeah,
deciding that it's not going to run.
Agreed.
Right. It's fine to warn me.
Yep.
You can do all that stuff. But when it comes down to it,
Yes,
I want a button
don't
where I
disagree.
can push 15 miles from the near edge of nowhere
Yep.
and drive the car toward the near edge of nowhere until it catches fire.
Yep.
Then I will leave it on the side of the road and walk the last 5 miles.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like walking 15 miles
We're
to
not letting
save
the
the
machines
goddamn
decide
car.
when they run. Right. Again.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Don't break Asimov's laws, and you can't get too far fucked up.
Okay, but let's
So,
talk about
U.S.
this
safety
phantom brake,
regulators have launched another investigation into Tesla. This time it's tied to the complaint that the cars can stop on roads for no apparent reason. Phantom braking. And this isn't take the foot off the gas. This is bring the car to a stop in the fastest possible way.
Ew.
Right? This is unpleasant. Unexpectedly brake at highway speed.
Whoa.
And it can happen more than once on a single trip. Imagine how much fun that is.
You got back in the car after that?
Yeah,
No, there's only one failure worse
I
than
take
that.
it back. Don't send us a Tesla until you fix this
is the
fucking issue.
refusal to stop accelerating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the times I've had that
I-
happen in a car, I'm glad you can put them in neutral and just turn it off.
Yeah, and many of the owners have said they feared a rear end crash. Guys, again, that's one of the reasons I'm in command of my vehicle. There may be situations where I'm going to hit the vehicle in front of me.
That may be on purpose.
That may be on purpose to give the gigantic truck behind me 10 more feet.
Yep.
So he doesn't squish me. So guys, this is ridiculous. And I can't imagine why you'd turn on a self-driving feature in any case.
Well, and we're rapidly
Right.
getting to a point where I'm just going to have to suck up and buy a car I can maintain because I won't, like OnStar. The idea of the remote kill feature on any OnStar wired vehicle?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, if you think that can't be hacked, you're a moron.
Oh, and it has been.
Yeah.
Even Teslas have been hacked,
Yep.
and people will take over and drive for you.
Yep.
It can be
That
done.
almost sounds like fun.
No.
Most of the
Not
scary
for the
variants
person
of
in
that,
the
you either
Tesla,
need
but
physical access
I'm going to be the
or
person
global link.
driving.
But yeah,
So anyway, no, I don't want any of those features. So again, we're back to that minimalist electric vehicle, right? It's nothing but electric motors, simple power
Well, or
supplies,
sell it in a not
some
stupid way.
batteries.
right
Yeah.
now they should be looking at eating the semi-truck industry whole.
Yes, absolutely.
And you give me 10 years if they can do highway
Hey,
adventures.
working folks, they're coming for you again.
Oh yeah. One of the crazier conspiracy theories I bumped into not terribly long ago was, is the COVID lockdown designed to prep us for a world without jobs? That's actually not a horribly dumb question, because if I can teach a robot surgery, I can teach it every fucking job there
Oh,
is.
sure. Yep.
At least to the point of, you're gonna look to your left, look to your right. One of those is probably going away.
Yeah. So anyway, we
So-
might start thinking about how we distribute income
Yep.
and goods more equitably.
Well, that's why I love when people try the little dome experiments for basic universal income or any of the other stuff that,
Yeah.
at some level, yeah.
Yeah.
We do actually have enough on this planet to live in
do
basically
that.
the Federation from Star
And let
Trek.
the ones who want to be artists be artists.
Yep.
And let the ones who want to dance dance. And
When we'll have enough sluff left over to be like, we need to pay the guys to be trash collectors more. Awesome.
yeah. Absolutely.
Everybody can kind of do most of the jobs after a couple of days.
Yeah.
So I've at least not been dangerous after my second day.
Yeah.
No one has to be like, don't get run over. Come here, stupid. Come here. You gotta look out
You're
for those.
kind of proposing a kibbutz.
Well, no, there it went. Yeah, that's the absolute end of it. So is the commune. So is every other attempt the humans have made.
Okay.
Every time we put a label to it, all of them come with so much baggage.
Agreed. But that was the original concept.
Cool.
Okay.
Loads of concepts.
we have any
loads of
coffee?
different. Nope.
Oh, well, that sucks.
All right. Updates with BoomerX. Tell me about Omicron.
So one of the questions from Omicron is why did
Where the truck
Canada
is at.
do so much better job than we did? Right? We murdered 279 U.S. residents out of every 100,000. Canada, which has exactly our demographics, only murdered 94 per 100,000. They were 4 times better than we were.
Wow.
Right? They were later to get the vaccine, right? But when the vaccine was available in Canada, they very rapidly passed the U.S., and 80% of Canadian citizens are immunized, and 90% of their truck drivers. So anyway,
Nice.
if you go through kind of line by line, the difference is Canada has a health system that works.
Oh, yeah.
And people went to the doctor earlier and said, I really don't feel good. And they didn't show up needing to go to ICU, right? And the Canadian system worked, and they saved people who were sick but didn't have
Who'd
to die.
have thought that having a
Whereas-
working healthcare system saves lives?
Oh my
I
God.
never would have imagined that was such a thing that
I
could
know.
possibly
I will also point
happen.
out they're 26 on their Gini score. And
We're 100 and something.
No, that we're
168.
400.
I'm just looking at the Wikipedia if you got a
Okay.
better number.
Nope.
So yeah. Also they have a lot of the European advantage of, it's not exactly right, but the people who have a very narrow definition of Canada don't have a lot of countervailing examples. Right? Everyone in Canada kind of looks like what everyone in Canada thinks, and people that would like a broader definition of that know the places they should live and do.
Yeah.
Right,
Fair.
like Austin, we were talking about earlier, is known as an art town, and so
Boulder,
part of it.
yeah.
It's why the Danes get along
Colorado,
better.
and yeah.
And they don't have the industries we do, right, in the various outrage machines. So,
Well, we appear to be funding those. In
I
particular,
know,
Elon
that's-
Musk appears to be funding those.
right?
So,
I thought it was the Overstock guy, or is it both? I know
It's both.
The one I heard about was the little lady with the gelato shop. And you know what? Fuck you too. I saw her walk back and all the rest. On the other hand, get in the ring, get hit.
yeah. No, I have no heartburn with that. So anyway,
Largely because nothing happened to her store other than they were shouted at. Like, don't shout at people. It's rude. But if you're going to shout at them, do it on the phone.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
and Canadians, we don't know about how polite it must have been.
Yeah, there is some of that. On the other hand, they aren't act like that's the fun of that stereotype. I've met Canadians that you wouldn't want to fuck with.
Oh God, yeah. No, and yeah, I mean, there's
Like,
definitely
we've all seen Letterkenny.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
some Canadians who can get it done.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, next up is
climate weirding.
Well, no, we still have one more in Omicron.
What?
Madness.
The question is, are we prepared for the next round? And the short-term answer is, if it's Omicron, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because we think about 73% of Americans are at least, for the moment, immune to Omicron.
Okay, cool.
And that should rise to 80% by mid-March. And obviously, those are both estimates, right?
Yeah.
But
it always was, right? We
Yeah.
knew that the measles vaccination rates were dropping at a dangerous rate, or
Yeah.
to a dangerous rate. And a lot of this was we just kind of assumed everyone still believed enough in science to be like, I don't want I don't want to get killed by some old-timey shit. My grandparents would be like, oh, really?
Yeah,
Me
no
too.
shit. Well, the good news is a number of those childhood diseases,
Yeah.
right, those were the ones before the vaccines. Mothers held parties to be sure the kids had gotten it, and they did that because you wanted it as a kid. Because as a kid, you were going to run a fever of 104, and then you were going to get better.
Yep.
But there's
Post
When you get it as
1947.
an adult, you're going to abort the fetus you're carrying, and there's a chance you might die. And if you get it as an older adult,
Yeah.
there's a good chance you're going to die.
Oh, or something else. Just
they
reach in the
were-
hat and grab a symptom, and we'll see if
They-
it's permanent or
They
not.
were still
Yeah.
doing chickenpox parties when I was a kid,
Uh-huh.
and now everybody who was involved in that
It's
gets
easier to get
shingles.
the shot.
Well, you were going to have it anyway. Sorry, guys, that's one you probably can't avoid. The shingles, yes, but you probably can't avoid the HPV.
No.
So,
I think my generation's just given up on it. Remember, yeah, we talked about it. That our generation is more horn dog than the original print hippies. We have had nearly, on average, double the sexual partners of Gen X or
Yeah,
whatever
some
the
significantly
baby
more.
boomers. Yeah.
shit, I was born too early.
Yeah, no,
Anyway,
right?
I had a friend who had like 100 sexual partners, and I was impressed. I was like, well played.
Where do you get the time?
I am not going to count again. I'm not going to do it. I've done it 3 or 4 times in my life, and I'm not doing it again.
Fair enough.
Last time I checked, I was somewhere in my 30s. For amount of people.
What the fuck other choice is there than people? Never mind, do not answer that. It's your, like...
No, because I didn't want it to be 30s as in my age 30s, because I
Yeah.
still in my 30s. I haven't checked in my 30s age.
No,
but
I'm gonna have to
last time
count
I
again.
counted, I
Oh,
was
fuck.
in my 30s numbers.
Nope, I
God
just want to see if I can get to say 30s 2 more times so that it'll just lose all form in my head and just
I'm not
like
sure I
slosh
make it to
around.
20.
There's like unattached phonemes.
Can we quit talking about this? Because we're making me feel...
Feel what?
Old and
Like
British, who knows? Today,
climate weirding.
I don't know.
cheated.
Cheated. Oh, trust me, it's not something I'm proud of. A lot of the people I slept with were not worth the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Maybe that's the difference.
Oh, I'm sure. No, you get to fuck your friends. That was a way cooler deal.
Yeah. It was.
Anyway, climate weirding.
Yeah,
Let's
the
go.
benefit of having...
You're the one who wanted to talk something else.
Yeah. So climate weirding. Hey, got another one of them winter storms headed across the U.S. Point out one more time, the reason you're having tornadoes in Alabama this time of year is because we left the Gulf Coast really, really, really warm, and all that warm, wet air gets entrained with the cold air coming down from Canada. And when that warm, moist air condenses into raindrops, that's an even bigger input into the heat index. And you get really big storms at a time of year you didn't used to get them.
Mm-hmm.
You were
So,
born in the South, and you can tell this by looking at like videos of the weather and the numbers and. Hi.
yeah, no, this is, guys, we have
I just
screwed
want you to
up.
pull rank on the Southerners.
We have screwed up the heat distribution down in that section of the country, and they're going to pay a very high price for it.
That's what made those summer days be remembered, the good ones and the bad ones.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the good ones are going away. I don't live there enough to know if they still bother you. Hey, shut up. I hope you pull it over on yourself.
Yeah, I think you probably still have the warm, wet evenings, right?
Yeah.
So,
I just remember dancing in the bug spray, so that also explains a lot of
I was remembering walking guard duty at Fort Benning on these glorious evenings.
That's also what
when you, honest to shit.
him getting sprayed with whatever he's about to tell about.
What?
I don't know. You see where this goes?
So you didn't care that you were walking guard, right? It
Yeah.
was so nice to just be out in the weather and walking around. And so, Chris, we also
That breeze
walked
that
it
would
when
come
it was,
by every once in a while.
I know. And then 2 nights later, you would be walking it in pouring rain and hating every step of it.
That
But,
sound the Spanish moss makes in the wind.
yeah,
Anyway.
we didn't have that much Spanish moss.
No.
We had some. Out here, you should know the sound that the wind makes blowing through the saguaro spines.
I know the sound snow makes running off slate roofs. So it really is like places you've touched a boob or
Yeah.
were wildly tuned in.
Oh yeah. I mean, I will say I was pretty happy the other day when we got a little bit of sleet and I was hearing tinkling
Yep.
on the
Yep.
roof, and I was like, "What is going on?" And I opened the thing and I was like, "Oh," and the window.
It's white. It looks a little like snow.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're definitely they're collections of snowflakes. It's the sky throwing snowballs at you. So, I mean, yay
Yeah.
for that. It's what
shall
hail
we-
looks like when it can't achieve hailification.
Yeah.
Shall we say our goodbye and get into the tax structure?
No one's saying goodbye. We're moving
Yeah.
on to the next whatever.
Are we going to say our goodbye?
No, not yet. I'd
Goodbye
say
to
that for
what?
later.
You say the goodbye for the end?
I think so.
Okay, we'll say the goodbye
I don't
for
know
the
what
end.
2000's tax is going to be like, but
Yeah. So we might need to pick her up or after. So let's save it.
Okay.
2000s current events. Let's run over these real quick because we're talking about a new decade and we want to kind of refresh people because, god damn it, can you believe it's been fucking 20 years? Anyway.
fuck, you're old.
Well, fuck you. You're older than me. Fuck off.
25 and squirrel.
No one likes you.
That's very true for a lot of reasons.
All right, so we had George Bush elected president 2000. There was some regulation for FD, which prohibited a company from intentionally disclosing information to select persons, such as security firms and institutional investors, without disclosing that information to the public at large. Online trading became big. The .com IPO bubble began.
Yeah.
So that
Wow.
was, yeah.
Get reinflated now.
It burst on March 10th of 2000. So that was when
Oh, fine.
the big
Yeah.
drop
No,
happened.
cool.
Yeah.
It was either 99 or 2000. I'm down for 2000.
It was in 2000.
Yeah.
Oh, and I almost forgot Y2K, beginning
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
millennium.
Came and went.
Y2K was a big thing.
Like
Everybody
most
was
things, a disappointment.
freaking out, and that caused a lot of panic because people were concerned the computers couldn't handle going into the new millennia.
Yeah.
And so a
Oh,
lot of people
believe
got
me.
paid a lot of money to sit up
To
late at
fix
night
that.
in case
Yeah.
some shit happened.
That was
and
hard.
nothing happened.
We got it done, though.
There was like a couple of places that had a few issues, but it wasn't difficult. It was easily.
Yeah, that was after 2 years
Yeah.
of hard work.
Oh, yeah.
Everything would have stopped if it weren't for the hard work.
Yep.
2001.
We used to be able to do hard things.
We had the attack on the World Trade Center in the Pentagon.
No, yep.
That was 2000.
So we missed the 93 bombing of it?
Who knows?
Anyway.
Well, because we talked about in the 90s the Oklahoma bombing.
Yeah, I'm talking about the World Trade Center bombing in the 90s when they drove the Ryder truck in.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I think we missed that.
Yeah.
That wasn't covered. That's weird. That you're right. That should have been in there.
Well,
Its economic impact was not the same.
Was zero.
2001 was also the Enron scandal.
Yes,
was
which did have some impact.
Yep. 2002 was the WorldCom fraud.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, in 1998, the WorldCom and MCI Communications completed a $37 billion merger, started in mid-1999, and continuing to accelerate pace into 2002. The company masked declining earnings by painting a false picture of growth and profitability. After the fraud was discovered, the company filed for bankruptcy protection. So that's the basic overviews of what happened there.
So bad it violated the corporate veil for several folks.
In 2003, we invaded Iraq.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. I know we didn't do Iraq. Well, we didn't do Kuwait in the 90s.
In 2004, there was that tsunami in Asia. That was crazy.
Yeah. And did have knock-on effects due to our
that was insane.
bad ideas about how to run a supply chain.
Don't worry about it. We still have one stored up for the Atlantic coast. Much bigger.
Net capitalization rule exemption, also in 2004. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission granted an exemption of the net capitalization rule, mandating a 12-to-1 leverage limit to the 5 largest investment houses: Bear Stearns & Co., Goldman Sachs, Lehman Brothers, Merrill Lynch, and Morgan Stanley.
Oh, you mean the guys that did it?
2005 Hurricane Katrina. Y'all remember that? God, we're old.
Not me.
2006 Mars Renaissance Orbiter.
See, if we're gonna name that, we should have all the
And-
coolest we played with in the 90s.
And Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet. Fuck y'all, it's a planet.
argue with that.
Yeah, that ruined my goddamn bastards.
Nothing. It's a bad way to think of planets.
In 2007, Nancy Pelosi, first woman Speaker of the House. Well played, Nancy Pelosi. 2008, finally, Barack Obama was elected president. Woo! Okay. And, the Great Recession, also 2008.
It starts in 7, but sure. It ends, I agree.
From
Well, and if you
2000,
want-
from 2007 to 2010 is the time.
If you want an example of how well the ultra rich are doing, go back and look at the change in ownership, net ownership of wealth that happened between 2007 and 2010. And you'll see that the ultra rich came out of the 2008 depression
Oh, yeah.
looking great.
$14 trillion
And working
moved.
folks got hurt. So, and you have to wonder why that was. It's almost like the rich were running the country like it was a company.
And credit default swaps have doubled in size since then.
So anyway,
And we the list of banks you listed off a while ago.
Yep.
That number's gotten smaller, and all of the same number. Right? They just ate one of the people on that list.
Yep. The Madoff scandal.
Oh yeah.
In December, Bernard Madoff confessed to running the
Madoff.
largest
Money.
to-date Ponzi scheme in U.S. history.
that we know of.
Federal regulators were criticized for not detecting the Madoff fraud, and
No
Madoff
shit.
was sentenced to 150 years in prison, the maximum allowed under federal guidelines. Only a fraction of the funds taken from his investors were recovered.
And so he's out mowing lawns at Club Fed.
Yeah. Hey, be glad it wasn't in anyway.
2009, Sonia Sotomayor,
Yep.
first Latina U.S. Supreme Court justice, and apparently Bitcoin began.
All
Yeah.
right.
Fucking Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Speaking of scams, all crypto everywhere.
So that's a brief reminder of what was going on in the 2000s. Talk amongst yourselves while I get the rest of the information.
No, crypto's one of those things. It's like scalping or any other stuff, right? There are some jobs we used to not do, even though they were profitable.
Yeah.
Right? Drug dealer and pimp used to be things you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And I say that having had friends who were drug dealers. I don't know that I've ever had a friend who was a pimp.
Oh, Jesus fuck.
I wouldn't be surprised based on some of who they were as drug dealers, but
You are all gonna
It never
hate
came up.
me.
Why?
I mean,
So remember how bad,
more.
not last night, but the night before was, when we were
Bitch.
talking about the
God
80s?
damn it.
Uh-huh.
There's more.
There's more.
They have more laws that was enacted between
Get the-
2000 and 2009.
Tell you what we'll do as you go through, we'll say what's next when we want to move on. How about that?
Yeah, but some of these are so detailed.
And you know they buried it in the bottom.
Don't do
They
the detail.
always bury it in the. Okay, some of these are really short. So some of
Okay,
these are
good.
really fucking long. Holy shit! Look how long
Goddamn,
this
yeah.
one is in 2006.
Oh,
So what is the one?
Hold on.
2006.
Well, but we want to start at the beginning, otherwise,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Alright.
fucking make sense.
Cool.
Trying to think what the was. So,
You know what, guys?
not in 6.
There's so much here. I don't even know if I can.
We
This-
have to do it as a multi-parter. Fuck. Because I agree. At the same time,
My biggest thing is that I like the idea of just kind of simplifying it and focusing on the whatevers, but there is a lot going on here, and it's all fucking important because it changes
all right.
everything.
I've got one plan. We got 3 parachutes. We can jump out the back of the airship. He'll say his nice. Well, first you say your nice story, then we'll jump out the back. And
You want
you
another
and I
night
can
to
boil
work
it
on?
down tonight and tomorrow. You want to do that?
Yeah, if you'll help me,
Sure.
because
Okay.
this is a lot, and I don't understand half of it, which is part of why I've been just reading it, because it's easier for, it gives you the
No, I
chance to
understand.
explain what's happening and for the people to understand what's going on a bit better. And I don't want to minimize any of this because it's all, I mean, these are laws.
I don't want to help process the 4-hour video that.
Understand that part of what's happening here, right, is we're now well into the range where individual companies are buying tax benefits.
So
from
we're drunk
Congress.
off the tax increase and the revenue increase from the end of the 90s.
Right.
We do incredible tax cuts on the incredibly wealthy.
Yeah. So anyway, a lot of what you're seeing are the minutia that some individual company or industry group purchased,
Yeah.
right, to give themselves a tax break or a barrier to entry or whatever.
Hey,
right?
we've got a whole rack full of these. Make these taxed something different.
Right. So, okay,
How
go
can I
over it.
minimize my assets and maximize my debt?
Yeah. So go over it tonight. We'll do it tomorrow night.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, just,
I don't think she wants to read that much. I don't think either of us will be paying any attention by the end. We'll just be lying on the floor and agree with, yeah, it's bad. Everyone
Yeah.
should die.
shit drooling out of the sides of all of our mouths.
Yeah, exactly. No.
I
No,
prefer shit didn't drool out of my mouth. But
I'm not
I'm
worried
sorry,
about the thing
guys,
drooling
but I think that what needs to happen is, I need to sit down with Asshole, and we need to look at each of these individually and break
think
it
about
down
whether, right.
into, okay, so this is the basics of what this is talking about. This
Right.
is the stuff you care about. Here's the information you care about.
There you go.
And the rest of it people can look up. Remember, we're getting all this information from taxpolicycenter.org. So all you have to do is Google major enacted tax legislation of whatever
Feel free to
decade.
cite and give us your arguments on any part you want to
Yeah.
fight at a deeper level.
Yeah, no. And also I want to remind you guys, I've been posting memes that I've been making. So if you have any ideas for memes you would like to see or subjects you would like me to cover in a meme, let me know. Because I need ideas. Because there's just so much that we cover that I've kind of been picking on the billionaires, but I feel like that's going to get old quick.
Yeah.
Don't forget to go to BoomerRexTonight to see our memes.
I love it.
Yeah.
That or we're gonna get smoked by millionaires.
Although I liked
with an airship.
Firestarter. I liked Firestarter.
Oh, you like the one that I did? Yeah,
likes the
no.
movie.
I was just going through random memes and just
Yeah.
looking at the blank templates, and I saw that one. I was like,
Done.
winner, chicken dinner, man.
Yeah.
Like, in. So, again,
I will point out that the Firestarter was a hero. So
Yep.
that's one of the better scenes in junk movies. It's when she finally got pissed off.
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
don't ruin the meme, man. Anyway, so in this case, the billionaires are not the fucking are not the fucking heroes.
They've
So-
never been the good guys.
They're
When
not
were
the
the
good guys.
bosses the good
You
guys?
don't get to be a billionaire by being a good guy.
Nope, aggressively not. Nope.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it might have happened once. But
So,
2 years ago, I would have held up Bill Gates as being an example of somebody who became a billionaire
Yep.
legitimately and seemed to be a decent person, and I wouldn't do that anymore.
No.
So there's one of
Because
my
even if
icons
he
just struck down.
yeah, like
Right.
so.
BoomerRexTonight, no spaces on our Facebook.
Right.
Don't forget your good
Follow
stuff.
Don't
us
turn us
there.
off. We have a goodbye to say.
If you want to go there, what I want you to remember is that that's where we post, because you cannot search us on Patreon right now. You cannot search us on Patreon right now, so I need you to go to BoomerRexTonight and click on whatever Patreon. I post our Patreon every night with the pregame show.
Why can't you search us on Patreon?
We're not big enough.
Because we don't have enough people.
Okay.
Once we get enough people, you'll be able to search us. So we need people to join
Turns
the
out
Path of
everyone's
the
starting up
Barnabas.
to do digital begging.
There you go.
Join the Path of the Barnabas, and I will allow BoomerRex now to take us out with a good story.
And I have an explanation for why we peed on the other one.
Okay. So we're going to be doing these as we go along, but they're going to be pretty rare. So tonight, Go with God, Colonel Gail Halverson, holder of the Legion of Merit. Gail Halverson, when he was a lieutenant, was flying C-54s into Berlin during the Berlin airlift. And one day he wandered out to the fence line there at Tempelhof, and there were some German kids, and he offered them some chewing gum, and realized after the fact he didn't have enough to go around. And he promised them that the next day he would have enough for them, and he would throw it out of his airplane as he took off, and he would waggle his wings so they would know it was him. So he became known as Mr. Waggle Wings. And he and his friends started using their allotment of candy to buy candy for the German kids, and they would tie handkerchiefs and stuff to make a little parachute, and they would throw it out as they took off. Well, it caught on. And so soon there were lots of guys throwing stuff out of aircraft taken off from Berlin. And there were confectioners all over the United States sending boxes of goodies to be parachuted to these German kids.
Aw,
So,
That is
anyway,
super adorable,
that's awesome.
go with God, Mr. Waggle Wings.
right? Doing things that used to be the kind of stuff Americans were all proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That made everyone kind of glad to see Americans, even when we were about to do something
Perfectly
in a
goddamn
part of the world we
standard.
didn't understand very well.
Yeah.
We weren't there out of malice.
Yeah.
We weren't there trying to make other people feel small.
Well, back when we were the Americans that Dondi knew, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and let him in. I want to see something I feel sorry for. But the soldiers who shared their food with kids, even
Oh,
though they didn't have enough.
It's a major problem with troops. And it always has been, and it's
Yeah.
one of the things that lets me love them, even though I know they aren't
Yep.
plaster saints.
And if we're not those people anymore, well,
Then let's turn off the lights and pull up all the tent pegs and collapse in on ourselves. Let us not interfere with the game post us. Other than we should probably send a bunch of stuff to Australia, kind of.
yeah, something.
I
Where
trust them to
did
try.
Rome send its?
Constantinople.
Okay.
And that didn't, they didn't work out bad, but
Well, but they exported other stuff up into Europe because that's part of where the Renaissance came from.
did Yugoslavia break up more?
Get down.
Oh,
Get
we got-
down.
Anyway,
Get the cat off my notes. So,
now, Ukraine isn't settled enough to be like, hey, now you're a hyperpower. Good luck, bro. I mean, funny though it'd be.
where did the science from and literature from Greece go? Went to Rome.
Yeah.
We'd have to look to where Rome went when it fell.
I mean, Rome had gone everywhere and taken Rome with it.
Yeah.
So, a little bit that.
So maybe we have spread.
Yeah, but we're talking more than half of the global supply of aircraft carriers. We're going to need to park them somewhere, and I don't think the Indian Ocean's a really swanky joint.
No. Okay.
Nothing wrong with the Indian Ocean. I just think if you're going to have them, drop
You
them
might
off
as well
some-
drop them off in Australia.
Or failing that, drive them up to tiny islands that won't exist in very long and hook them up with power forever. But I thought about why we didn't pee on this story savagely the way we did the other one.
Okay,
And
why?
it's not entirely just because we're monsters. This story has an end, right? I don't have to
Okay.
worry about this. There's going to be no Cosby effect with this guy. This
Okay.
guy, and maybe there is, I don't know. I'm not going to go looking, but I don't have to worry about what pictures and video this guy's going to turn up in next week.
Right.
Less so
Plato said that once, that you couldn't truly have had a good life until you were dead.
That
Yeah,
is fair.
because you didn't know what was going to happen next week.
Yeah, you could become a shithead.
Yeah.
We're all one
How would you
poorly
know good
folded
men?
concept.
You knew good men when you buried them.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you could get some poorly folded concept in your head next week and be immovably wrong on the thing.
Yeah.
So don't let that happen to you, the internet. Stay flexible. Semper Gumby.
All right. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, follow, heart, review. Check us out on your favorite podcasting service as BoomerRexTonight.
Send money so we can buy the airship.
Yeah,
Right.
so go to our our Patreon, as I said.
However you found our
which you will-
podcast, you're likely to find a Podbean link.
Right. No, if you just Google us, we're the only thing you'll get if you Google BoomerRexTonight. It is
No
all
spaces.
us.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember, no spaces for our Facebook.
Space is very expensive.
And YouTube, we are just BoomerRex. But if you search BoomerRexTonight, our shows will come up, and you can follow us at BoomerRex. You'll recognize the icon. Twitter, we're at BRexTonight. So check
Follow
us
us on
out on
everything.
Twitter.
You know you want to hang out.
Follow us, like us.
Maybe we'll send you a picture of our food.
Share our memes, okay? Get them out there. These memes have good information in them.
Risen
They're
works hard on it.
quality, fun memes. Share them, please. And again, if you have any meme ideas, send us a comment. Send us a comment on
I wonder
YouTube,
if you could
or
boost whole ass graphics.
send us a private message on our BoomerRexTonight no spaces. Yeah, that's all I got.
Buy the internet.
Share friends, all that other stuff. We love y'all, and we'll see you back here
Be
tomorrow
excellent
night
to each other.
Fuck
on
yeah, man.
BoomerRex
Look for ways you can help.
Tonight.